Shaquille's still out for another 6 weeks. Penny Hardaway has really filled the gap ably.
Right, Vern. Penny Hardaway is off to a great start. Penny Hardaway is the leading vote getter for the Player of the Week, the reigning vote getter of the Player of the Week this week, and the NBA is off to a great start. He was compared to Magic Johnson coming out of college, and Penny Hardaway, I thought that was a little bit premature. Now, the way he's playing right now, I think that's a justified comparison.
You know, they've only played 6 games so far, Danny. Shaquille is out. Is there a chance that this can work to their advantage, that they may have to learn things about themselves they otherwise might not?
Yeah, Vern, what they need to do is these guys need to learn to get the shots off on their own. They're so used to having Shaq get the ball inside, the ball going back outside, and easy shots. Right now, they're having to work a little bit harder. Brian Hill said that he wants to get more free throws than the opponents, and that's the best way for them to win.
Orlando is 5-1. Their one loss was on the road in Atlanta. Chicago 5-0. They put Dennis Rodman on the injured list today. That means he's down for 5 games. They still have a guy named Jordan and a guy named Pippen. And though they're not playing really all that well, they are undefeated.
Right, they're not playing well, but Michael Jordan shooting 50% from the line, still leading the league in scoring. And Michael Jordan, that's the deciding factor usually in the games for Chicago. Right now, they're a team that plays to the level of their competition. And right now, in order for them to win tonight here in the arena, they're going to have to raise that level up a little bit.
You know, naturally, I think all of us are going to watch the matchup. Jordan, Nick Anderson will start guarding him tonight. But there's another matchup that you like even a little bit more.
Right, I think the deciding matchup is going to be Scottie Pippen versus Penny Hardaway. They may start out with Ron Harper on Penny Hardaway to start the game to buy some time, but down the stretch, they really need Scottie Pippen on Penny Hardaway. Chicago has proven that they can win the game without Michael having a superhuman effort, but I think that in order for Orlando to win the game, they're going to need a great effort out of Penny Hardaway.
All right, it's an interesting matchup here in the second week in November. Chicago 5-0, Orlando 5-1. We'll have the game for you, but when we come back, we're going back to our Atlanta studios and Ernie Johnson.
Go to Atlanta, follow the signs, straight to the NBA on TNT. Tough to beat this early season tilt, folks. The Bulls and the Magic, with only one loss between them, meeting for the first time since the playoffs. Good evening, fellow hoop fans. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. We are 81 games deep into the NBA season and 24 hours away from seeing actual NBA referees on the court for the first time. No, the impasse between the league and its refs is not over, but the regulars will work the Rockets-Raptors game in Toronto by mandate of the Ontario Labor Relations Board. Meantime, the NBA and its officials will meet tomorrow in New York to try and once again come up with a dollar figure that both sides can live with. It's a situation that has grown more and more frustrating for players and coaches who have tired of the replacement refs.
We got to get this strike settled, man. You know, it's unfair to the players, it's unfair to the fans, it's unfair to the TV viewers. They got to get off their ass up there in New York and get it done.
Charles, no one will...
These guys are doing the best they can, but it's unfair. I mean, they're at a disadvantage. Number one, they don't know the NBA game. Number two, it's only 2 of them. But they got to get it done. I mean, they fighting over hundreds of thousands of dollars, or maybe a couple million. But the NBA is a billion-dollar business, and it's not fair. We've got to get the strike settled. That's it. I said that was it.
The Chuckster at his outspoken best or worst. We'll explore the issue further at halftime tonight when we hook up live with Commissioner David Stern. But coming up next, a playoff rematch between Eastern Conference heavyweights. Michael and the Bulls, Penny and the Magic, the NBA on TNT.
More than 17,000 have gathered here at the arena in downtown Orlando. First meeting of the 1995-96 season between the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic. Let's check the matchups for tonight's game. Of course, Rodman and O'Neal are out. For Chicago, Pippen, Simpkins, Longley, Jordan, and Harper. And for the Magic, Scott, Grant, Koncak, Penny Hardaway, and Nick Anderson. We have been joined tonight by Craig Sager. Let's join Craig for an update.
Well, after spending the weekend in Baton Rouge, where he was checking on his grades and his progress for graduation from LSU, Shaquille O'Neal is back in Orlando. He'll have the cast removed on his injured right thumb later this week, have a new one put on, and although a date has not been set for his return, he circled Friday, December 22nd in my schedule book. That is New York at Orlando on TNT. For Chicago, James Edwards has been activated, replacing Dennis Rodman. This is Edwards' 19th season. And starter Ron Harper spent the day at the doctor's office where he was treated for an injured gland, ruptured gland in his right eye. Hopefully, we'll talk to Shaq at halftime.
Phil Jackson, 50 wins, 5 in the last 6 years. Last season, 47 and 35. And Brian Hill in his 3rd season as head coach, and had a contract extension offered to him today. We'll have more on that a little bit later on. Horace Grant has it for the Magic into the hands of Penny Hardaway.
What about those new Chicago uniforms, Vern? The black pinstripes.
It gives them a second option. This is the first time they've worn them, and they said they're not going away from their traditional red road uniforms, but they join among a number of teams who have that second option now. Simpkins, low post. Here's Harper. Quickly around to Scottie Pippen. Hardaway guards him. Anderson on Jordan as expected. Ron Harper, baseline jumper. Hardaway rebound.
Great penetration by Michael Jordan. Ron Harper's got to make that shot and make them pay, because they're going to really collapse on Michael throughout this whole game.
Jordan will open on Hardaway. Here's Concat. Air ball.
Koncak actually can make that shot. I'm surprised he didn't hit anything on that one, but he's a pretty good outside shooter from 15 feet.
John Koncak signed as a free agent from Atlanta, where he spent most of his career. Here's Longley off the glass for the first basket of the night.
Well, Koncak played him a little bit softer on there because, you know, he's been getting in early foul trouble, and the coaches have been telling him, hey, we need you on the court in the 4th quarter, so quit getting in foul trouble. And Luke Longley took advantage of that one-on-one position.
John Koncak was signed by the Orlando Magic as a backup to Shaquille O'Neal. Did not expect that he would have as prominent a role as he's had to play here early. From the CBA, Derek Richardson and Rodney Mott are the officials tonight. Anderson. Scottie Pippen for Chicago. Here they come in transition. Pippen by Hardaway. Too hard for Ron Harper.
Great pass by Pippen. They're saying it was deflected. Harper just couldn't handle it. It was a fastball. Couldn't catch the fastball.
Slight pressure applied by Chicago. 2-0 is the score. Grant for Koncak. Hardaway. Horace Grant. There's the cutter, and it's a turnover for Dennis Scott. Harper finds Pippen. Well, a little sloppy in the early going.
Yeah, a few mistakes early on.
Longley kicks it back out to Harper. Here's Jordan. Too long. Pippen brings it down, and he's fouled by Dennis Scott.
That was a good call. Scottie Pippen got a good position. He jumped up in the air, and Dennis Scott tried to undercut him to keep Pippen from getting that ball. Good offensive rebound by Scottie Pippen.
Pippen will inbound. Anderson gives Jordan the baseline. He finds Pippen quickly out to Harper, who's had problems scoring, but gets this one.
Ron Harper needs to make that shot, just like we said earlier. They are really collapsed in the middle. Michael penetrated, they shut it down. Pippen penetrated, they shut it down. They need Harper or somebody to get that outside shot.
Harper, whose scoring average in the last 2 seasons, season and 2 weeks really, has gone way off the mark. Here's Hardaway posting up off the glass, too strong.
Well, Ron Harper was a player that a lot of people was a Knicks Clyde Drexler type of player, and he had knee surgery and really hasn't recovered the lift from that knee surgery.
Dickie Simpkins gets 2. He's starting in place of Dennis Rodman.
Right, he can make that shot. Simpkins is an excellent outside shooter, and they like him to take that shot.
6-0 Chicago lead. Foul called on Scottie Pippen.
That's one thing Simpkins can do better than Rodman will shoot. So.
But do we know that Rodman won't shoot?
I've seen him shoot.
Yeah, you have. At a much closer vantage point than I have. Here's Hardaway. There's 2. Penny Hardaway, 6 points above his average of a year ago. He's averaging 27.2. He is number 3 in the league early on. Oh, what a pass for Longley from Jordan.
Beautiful pass. And Koncak turned his head, was ready to help out on Michael's drive, and Michael made a beautiful pass to Longley.
Michael averaging 5 assists per game here in the early going. Back it goes. Scott, pump fake. Takes it strong. Koncak lays it off and in.
Great feed. Dennis Scott, he's got a great outside shooter. They had to run at him to protect him taking that 3, and he was able to penetrate.
At the other end, Jordan.
You know,
That's for three.
Michael's shooting 50% last year and this year in the regular season from three-point line, and yet he's only a 30% shooter over his career. So he has really become a great shooter in his old age.
Yeah. Old age of 32. Let's go back and take a look at Penny Hardaway, Danny.
Well, Penny, you know, he wants to be aggressive, but they're really backing off on him, and Penny is going to have to make that shot in order for them to come back.
Back on the court, here's Hardaway with the jumper. Yep, for three.
They can't stop that and take away his penetration. They have to make a decision, and the decision Chicago has chosen to take is to make Penny shoot it outside. He has not shot the ball well from the outside yet.
Jordan back-to-back three-pointers.
Now, Michael, I mean, when Penny and Michael are shooting from the outside like that, they're almost impossible to defend, and they're defending each other.
Jordan on Hardaway. Here's Horace Grant. The pick from Koncak knocks Harper to the floor. And a strong drive by Nick Anderson. They're going to call this an offensive foul.
Well, it was a good move by Anderson. It was also a good defensive play. Take the charge. I thought that right here when and he's got Longley out on him, good decision to go to the basket, but a great defensive play by Scottie Pippen. I think that was the correct call.
Dickie Simpkins for Chicago. Bulls jumped out to a 6-0 lead. They have the edge right now. Here's Pippen operating in the low post and gets it off the glass for a couple.
Well, the best way to make a offensive player that's hot slow down a little bit is with take him down in the box and make him play some defense, and Scottie did just that to Penny Hardaway that time.
Now Nick Anderson, or rather Dennis Scott backs in over Pippen. It's deflected. Koncak grabs it and travels.
I'm surprised they're trying to post up Dennis Scott against Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's one of the best defensive players in the league, and I think they have a lot other options to go to right now rather than going to their best defensive player.
Dennis Scott, a starter this year. He was a free agent, signed to a lucrative contract back in the fall. Of course, was a six-man last year, but he started all 6 games so far this season.
They're trying to isolate Penny again. It's a tough matchup for Penny. Scottie's a great player, and he got a little bit of height and a little bit of strength on Penny.
6 points off turnovers. Brian Hill with a little bit of a remonstration to the official. Time has been called by Orlando. 18-7 Chicago.
10 points or more will have a back attack. Make your tickets to any McDonald's in Oregon.
We're back in Orlando, and let's go back and take a look at that Pippen-Hardaway matchup, Danny.
Well, right here, you know, Penny Hardaway just, you know, he doesn't want to get in foul trouble early in the game. He's so important to this team, and Scottie Pippen is just taking him right down the blocks. It's actually pretty good defense and a great shot by Pippen right there. And they're going to exploit it one more time. Scottie has the whole lane. The rest of the guys are isolated out on the outside, and Scottie just takes advantage of his strength and height on Penny right there. And that's why Orlando called the timeout. They need to make an adjustment so Penny doesn't have that responsibility all night.
After jumping out to a 6-0 lead, Chicago has extended that margin. They're up 18-7 now with 6:40 remaining in the first quarter of play. Dennis Scott will inbounds. Looks for Hardaway, and instead settles for Horace Grant. Hardaway guarded by Jordan. There's a little pick and roll with Koncak. Hardaway kicks it back to John, and now they find Dennis Scott off balance with that three-point effort, and Longley with a rebound.
Well, that's one reason why Orlando's struggling from the perimeter right now, is they're forced into taking some bad shots. That was not a good shot by Dennis Scott, and that's why they're only shooting about 25%, some of those players, from the perimeter on their three-pointers this year.
Jordan has hit 2 3-pointers. Anderson comes out to get a little bit closer and fouls him.
See, Vern, that's really tough right there. You know, the guy just hit 2 3-pointers. They got the new hand-checking rules in the NBA. How can you guard Michael Jordan? I mean, there's no way. He has to get up and guard him now, and Jordan's too quick and too clever with the ball. And it's a kind of a ticky-tack foul, but, you know, that's the way they're calling it.
And underneath, Simpkins. Good block by Horace Grant. Anderson saves it. Here's Hardaway. Longley defending. Takes it up and over and in.
Oh, what a beautiful move by Penny Hardaway. That's the aggression that he's talking about. What a great drive.
18-9, under 6 minutes to go opening quarter. Here's Longley. Of course, Will Perdue is down in San Antonio now in the Rodman trade. Jordan. Longley turns left. Off the rim, no good. Hardaway rebound. And among the other things Penny Hardaway is doing, 6 rebounds per game.
Yeah, Penny's doing it all right now for the Magic in Shaq's absence, and he needs to continue doing that if they're going to go to the next level. Oh, that's incredible. He's doing it all right now.
4 out of 5 from the field for Hardaway, and the lead is cut to 7. Let's go back and take a look at Penny Hardaway.
Well, here's a guy. You got Scottie Pippen coming down on him. Luke Longley stops. He freezes him, and he just, with his 6'7" long body, great athletic ability, just goes right over the top of him. Here he goes through the whole Chicago defense. He weaves his way through Longley and then shoots over Simpkins. What a great shot.
Ball is inbounded. Dickie Simpkins goes up. Chicago ball.
Well, I thought that Scottie Pippen hit that one out of bounds.
Seattle leading Philadelphia on the road. Atlanta, big win in Dallas the other night for Atlanta.
Atlanta's off to a good start.
Sure are. Tony Kukoc comes on now. Talking with Jerry Krause before the game, general manager of the Bulls. He said Kukoc just is really struggling right now. Had a great preseason.
Right, they really need him to play well. He's an important player. He's an all-around player, good perimeter player, good post-up player against smaller people, good quickness, good passer, very versatile player.
Steal by Jordan on the throwaway by Anderson. Michael up and in.
Well, Nick lost control of the ball, and he threw the ball right to Michael. He didn't even see Michael standing there, but Michael was just standing there for a few seconds. They've gone to their half-court trap now, trying to slow Penny down.
Kukoc comes on the trap. Anderson. Now they get the ball to Horace Grant. Kukoc back to defend him. Hardaway, low post, right side. Pick and roll. Hardaway knifes through, and no foul call.
Oh, what a great move. What a great move. They called the offensive foul on Penny. I don't know if I agree with that one. That was a great move. I thought Pippen just got a piece of Penny. I don't think he got his body in front of him.
Watch him knife between the two. How about that?
That's beautiful. Oh, he just barely got a piece of him. I think that's a bad call. He barely got a piece of him on that one. I don't agree with that one.
Jordan, pick and roll to Longley, who travels.
Well, right now, Penny and Michael know this is an important game, and they've come out from the get-go with the intensity and the responsibility of trying to make something happen.
Brian Shaw checks in now, replacing Nick Anderson for Orlando. Shaw struggling from the perimeter shooting.
Yeah, he really has. He struggled last year in the regular season, and he's struggling right there. But you know what? The guy hit some big ones. He's not afraid to shoot, and he'll continue to shoot them.
That's off Dennis Scott. So ruled. And Chicago will bring it inbounds. I don't think Brian Hill, I think he's ready to settle the strike.
Well, you know, that's kind of what they get for trying to post up against Scottie Pippen. I don't understand that.
6 turnovers now for the Orlando Magic. Here's Pippen. Longley. 10 points off turnovers.
Yeah. That's, you know what, right now they're going to they're going to the half-court trap some, and they're trying to disrupt them. Michael Jordan has done a great job on Penny Hardaway at this point.
Hardaway and Jordan again. They clear out. He takes the jumper. Cans it.
Oh, you can't stop both. Michael is saying, hey, I can't guard this guy off the dribble all night. I got to give him the outside shot. Right now, Penny's been able to do both, but
now Shaw guards Jordan.
Yeah, Michael, you know, they're both playing good. It's like they have a one-on-one competition going out here. I think this would be better than the Shaq and Olajuwon one-on-one. I'd pay to watch Penny and Michael any day.
That ball, air ball. Official underneath didn't see it.
The Orlando Magic would like to welcome a very
Timeout.
special group of basketball fans to...
Well, we have showcased a couple of remarkable talents so far.
Yeah, these guys are incredible one-on-one players. Here, Michael's looking for help, trying to figure out where he's going to push Penny for help, and Penny just says, hey, I'm just going to let us fly right there, get the 3. And Michael, this is where Michael's game has improved so much. He may not be the high-wire act he once was, but he is a much better shooter. And he's always a good shooter, but now he's a great shooter.
and said he is in so much better shape than he was the last 6 weeks of the season when he came back last year. I'm sure, knowing how proud he is, that there's meaning in this game. Shaquille O'Neal, of course, is here.
No, there's no question this game means something. You know, these guys are going to be battling for home court advantage in the finals, possibly. These are the two teams, and they know that. So each game against each other is very important.
Brian Shaw, there's an example of the kind of off-the-mark shooting he's had. He hit a big one against Miami, though, late in the game. Brian Hill was telling us that shot Saturday night kind of exemplified his season. Here's a foul called on Tony Kukoc.
His first third-team foul.
Well, we're in week 2 of the 1995-96 NBA season. We're at the Arena in Orlando. Vern Lundquist, Danny Ainge. Chicago and Orlando, one defeat between them, and a foul called on Michael Jordan.
You know, I said earlier, Michael's doing a great job on Penny. Penny has 12 points, and he's looked fantastic, but Michael is really working hard. Penny is a great player. That just shows you what kind of great player he is, because he's got one of the best defensive players in all basketball defending him, and he's got his respect. Michael's working hard, and Penny is still at 12 points already.
Turns to his right this time and hits it.
What an incredible shot.
Unconscious.
That's why he was NBA Player of the Week.
That announcement just made tonight, based on the 27.2 average and the 7 assists and the 6 rebounds in the first 6 games. A foul is called on Hardaway.
Actually, the first 6 games, he should be NBA Player of the first 2 weeks.
Right.
2 minutes, less than 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Jordan Shaw guards him now. A little too strong, into the hands of Hardaway. Here comes Orlando running. Dennis Scott pulls up and lets it go. No. Kukoc. Grant knocks it out of bounds. Take a look at that move by Penny Hardaway.
Michael has him pushed off so far out on the block. Penny just backs him down and fades away from about 15 feet with a hand right in his face. What a great shot.
Hardaway with 14 points. Steve Kerr getting ready to come in for Chicago.
Well, we see Michael holding his pant legs right now, and I think he's going to get a blow. That last shot, you don't see Michael shoot many air balls, but he's tired. I'm telling you, he's working really hard on Penny Hardaway. Plus, he's trying to carry the team offensively right now.
Jordan averaging 35 minutes first 5. He'll rest at least the final minute 30. Steve Kerr is on the court now for the Bulls. He guards Brian Shaw. Hardaway. Pippen draws the defensive assignment. Shaw finds Dennis Scott. Nice strong move, but the shot no good. Rebound into the hands of Jason Caffey, who's come on the court as well, the rookie. Here's Kerr for 3. Got it.
Well, Kerr can really shoot right there, and Tony Kukoc had a mismatch, had Brian Shaw and him on the block, created the double team, and that's one guy you don't want to leave on the threes is Steve Kerr.
Chicago 3 of 3 from 3-point range. Back to Horace Grant. Contact can't control it from Brian Shaw.
That was great defense by Luke Longley. Clog up that. Chicago's playing great defense right now, and Orlando, with the exception of Penny, is having a tough time getting any good looks at the basket.
Here's Kerr from Pippen. 9 on the shot clock. Kukoc.
Well, they've been waiting for that, Vern. He's been struggling a little bit in the regular season. If he can hit that shot, and they got Curry hit the outside shots, I don't know how they're going to be able to defend the Chicago Bull team.
On the road, Chicago leads by 13, largest lead of the night. Here's Scott for 3. And I'm sure he's saying finally.
Well, he got a good look. They did the half-court trap, but they forgot to rotate out to Dennis Scott. He's another guy you just don't want to leave at the three-point line. So that was a breakdown in the defense.
Kukoc to Longley. And that's the end of the first quarter. Well, Michael Jordan, Penny Hardaway shined in the first quarter here in Orlando. But it was Jordan's Chicago Bulls who took the big lead.
Well, Hardaway's got 14 points, and he worked for every one of those. Michael got 10, and he worked very hard for his as well.
Back with number 2 in a moment. Welcome back to the Arena in downtown Orlando, where the hometown Magic haven't fared that well against Chicago. They trail by 10 as we start the second quarter. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Orlando has used this occasion against Chicago to announce a 3-year contract extension for Brian Hill. It was during the playoff run against Chicago that Hill enhanced his reputation for making adjustments, particularly in Game 3 when Michael Jordan was lighting up an inexperienced Penny Hardaway. Hill put in the veteran Brian Shaw, who sparked a comeback. Hardaway was then on the floor to lead the team to victory and restore his confidence. Although he has 2 superstars in Shaq and Penny, he's a disciple of Hubie Brown, and you know what that means, Vern? Discipline and no special treatment.
Yes, it does, Greg. For broadcasters as well as players. Here comes Dennis Scott. Back to Hardaway. Kerr guarding him for the moment. See how long that stays.
Well, Orlando came out at the end of the quarter in a trap of its own, trying to disrupt Chicago's offense a little bit. And here's Steve Kerr is trying to guard Penny. It's a big mismatch.
Yeah, that's not even fair.
Well, you know, he's done it to Michael and he's done it to Scotty too, so no reason for Steve Kerr to be upset. They're going to need more than one guy to try to defend Penny. They really, you know, they haven't shot the ball well from the outside. Tony Kukoc has to do a better job there helping Steve Kerr out, recognizing there's a big mismatch.
Phil Jackson calls a 22nd timeout.
I think that's exactly what Phil's saying. He says we got to seal off the paint. We got to make these guys beat us from the perimeter. I don't think they mind anybody shooting threes on this team other than Dennis Scott. They want to take the three-pointer away from him. But if Brian Shaw or Penny even or Nick Anderson are shooting the threes right now, I think that Phil Jackson's saying, hey, make them beat us from the perimeter.
There's the Magic. That's Joe Wolf in the background. Joe just signed last week to his 6th NBA team, plus a stop in Spain for a year. He's seen a little bit of the world in basketball pants. Good guy.
Yeah, and everywhere he's been, the teams have liked him. It's just been a numbers game with him. I think Joe's going to help Orlando, and they said they plan on him being more than just a guy to fill a roster spot temporarily. They have plans for him.
Jeff Turner was placed on the injured reserve list, arthroscopic knee surgery, and Joe was signed to fill his spot, but Brian Hill said, we plan on keeping you around. Kukoc, nope. Grant with the rebound.
Well, that was a great drive by Kukoc. Horace Grant can't guard Kukoc on the perimeter.
Scott. Crowd was ready. Here's Kukoc. It's 2-on-2. Tony has it batted away by Horace Grant. Now Donald Royal, who's come on the floor, lays it off to Shaw. He'll shoot a free throw.
Big play by Donald Royal. Donald Royal made a great defensive play at the time before, making Kukoc go away from the basket on his shot. And then he makes a great pass to Brian Shaw. Made an immediate impact coming in off the bench, and that's exactly what Orlando needs. They need some guys like that, a spark, to come in off the bench and get them back in this game.
Donald Royal, who's being asked to change his role with his team. Here's Bill Wennington coming on now, replacing Longley. And Konkak is back on. He'll replace Horace Grant. Donald Royal started 68 games last year. He's given way to Dennis Scott this season, but wonderful contribution early on in his role as the 7th man. Shaw completes the three-point play. That's the first free throw for Orlando tonight.
That's 6 straight points by Orlando. They're back in the game, and who comes back in but Michael? He's gonna try to come in and get him some offense and try to create for other people.
Kerr over Hardaway. Nope. Rebound Shaw. He'll push it up. He'll pull up. Donald Royal, guarded by Jordan, runs into a double team from Wennington. Konkak a little unsure what to do with it. 9 on the shot clock. Royal is offensive foul. Whoa.
Well, Orlando doesn't like that, but I thought that was good defense by Michael. That's a heady play right there. He knows that Donald Royal's not an outside shooter. He knows he likes to get to the free throw line, and I thought that was good defense. Michael's anticipating the drive, and he was a little late right there, but I still... But you know what? Michael's a great actor.
Among other things. Ball is stripped. 10 to go, second quarter. Scott finds Hardaway. Jason Cappy guarding Penny now. That would have counted had it gone, and Hardaway would go to the free throw line.
And Brian, that's a good play by Penny. They got the benefit of the call. Chicago did on the last possession. The crowd's into it. The bench is screaming and yelling, and Penny comes right down and puts the pressure on the other team and puts the pressure on the official to make another call to his way this time.
You know, I thought you had an interesting conversation with Brian Hill this morning about Penny Hardaway's ultimate role with this team. You think it's got to become his team?
Yeah, I think it does have to become his team. Kind of like Magic and Kareem were. And I think Brian agreed with that. And I think he feels that Penny is becoming that leader, a la Magic Johnson. Even though he's not there yet, he's showing progress in that area.
11-0 run now for Orlando to get them back in the game. They trail by 2. Kukoc guarded by Royal. Nifty move.
Nice move by Kukoc. That's the kind of thing they need out of him. I mean, they need some offensive production, and he's made some good moves here.
At the other end, Shaw for 3.
You know, Brian Shaw is shooting bad out there, but when he's a streaky player, and when he gets it going, then he can really get it going. You know, he made 10 3-pointers, holds the NBA record for most 3-pointers in one game. So we know what he's capable of doing if he gets it going.
Chicago calls timeout. Back at the arena, 9:25 to go in the first half of play, and after jumping off 6-0, Orlando has come back. Tony Kukoc.
Yeah, well, here's Tony going baseline. He's got the help coming from the middle. That's the cardinal sin by Donald Royal, allowing Kukoc to beat him baseline. Brian Shaw, he's a very streaky shooter. He's feeling good about himself right now and comes right down off the break. Orlando needs to get some easy baskets like that so Penny doesn't have to work so hard and get tired before this game is out.
No decided advantage in 3-point shooting so far, though Orlando has taken 8 shots to the 4 for Chicago. Hardaway is going to get a rest now. Brian Shaw, Don Royal, Nick Anderson's back in along with Scott and Konkak.
Bill Winnington, that guy can really shoot that 15-foot shot, and that's probably the thing that he does best. And, you know, they're paying so much attention to Michael and Steve Kerr on the perimeter that he's going to get those opportunities.
Scott gets it in the hands of Royal. Here's Shaw posting up, left-handed shot, in and out.
Orlando's going to try to take advantage of Steve Kerr. They don't like the way that he shoots the ball, and they want him on the bench. So they're going to try to take advantage of him at the other end.
Yes. Get him out of there any way you can. Kukoc. Oh, boy.
Well, he's great off the dribble. That's the best part of his game, is creating for shots for other people. That time he was able to get all the way to the basket.
Do you think he's having trouble adjusting to the 6-man role?
I don't think so. I think it's I think Tony will be fine. I don't worry about him. I think he's going to be a good player. I think it's more not having the ball. When he was in Europe, he always had the ball in his hands. He created for other people. He was the Scottie Pippen of their team, and so now he has to play more of be a role player.
Let's go back and take a look at the play as the foul is called on Nick Anderson.
Well, he's got John Konkak on him. He knows he can beat him by, and there's no help from Orlando. And he's able to get all the way to the basket. You got to be able to recognize that Konkak is guarding a quicker guy out on the perimeter and be ready to help.
Jordan got it.
Well, Michael had his choice there. There were 2 mismatches. He had the big guy guarding him on the perimeter, and he had Kukoc posted up against Shaw. He decided to take his mismatch, and it worked again.
Yes. Turnover Orlando. That's 8-9 on Horace Grant.
Orlando needs Horace to do something in this game. He really hasn't been in the picture to this point.
1 rebound so far. Kukoc finds Wennington. Shaw. 4 rebounds for Brian Shaw.
Brian Shaw's been a real spark for the Orlando team. He's been one of the main reasons why they've gotten back in this game. He's going at Steve Kerr again.
Kukoc comes over with the double. Yep. See if they can take advantage. In and out. Wonderful effort and no reward. Here's Steve Kerr at the other end. Jordan guarded by Shaw, takes the 3. Ball is chased down by Shaw. He saves it.
Yeah, Brian's playing great. He's playing inspired basketball right now. He's had a couple lip out even. He's playing great.
Anderson.
That's the guy they really need a lift from. Orlando. He scored pretty consistently, but he hasn't played to the player that we know he can be. He's shooting the ball 4 on the year, and they really need to get a lift out of Nick Anderson.
Illegal defense is called. That's the first of the night on Orlando. Let's take a look at Nick Anderson's shot, Danny.
Well, he's got Steve Kerr on him. He knows he can get the shot over him. Runs into a wall on defense right there. But Nick Anderson shoots that little runner, that little 8-foot shot in the lane as good as anybody in all of basketball.
Replacing Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr is out. Pippen, Wennington, Michael Jordan, Judd Buechler's on, and Kukoc. And the ball is chased down by Donald Royal. 3-point edge for Chicago. Here's Shaw. He's got the hot hand. Pippen with a rebound. Buechler spots up for the shot from the corner. That's for 2.
Yeah, Buechler, he's off to a great start this year. He's shooting 55% from the 3-point line and leading the league, I think, in field goal percentage. And he's off to a great start for them.
39-34. The lead back to 5 as we near the 6-minute mark. Hardaway getting ready to come back in.
And they're trying to post up Scottie Pippen's man again.
Ah, good cut by Don Royal.
Yeah, and a great pass by Contact.
Which is what he does well, right, Danny?
That's right. Yeah, he can pass. He can shoot outside a little bit. Contact is a good defensive player. That's the main reason we got him in there. But that was a beautiful pass he made.
5:42 to go first half. There's a cut at the other end by Pippen. And he's fouled by Brian Shaw. Scottie will go to the free throw line.
And that's one of the things that Kukoc does so well is find the open man. He's really a good creator and a good penetrator and a great passer.
Well, doubleheader coming up for you tomorrow on TBS. The Nuggets and the Suns in game 1 and the Mavericks and the Lakers in game 2. And Chuck Daly's going to work that new one with Dick, the first one with Dick Stockton. Every time I hear Tony Kukoc's name, I think of Chuck. And I think of Richie Adubato, because between the two of them, they butcher that man's name.
Kukoc.
Chuck cringes. He can't get it right. And Richie, forget Kukoc. How about Danilovic?
Oh, boy. Oh. Well, they don't do him as bad as the late Johnny Most. Never heard anybody butcher the European names worse than him.
You and Brian Shaw were having fun talking about that today, right?
Yeah. Well, there they try to get Horace involved in the game a little bit.
There's Richie Adubato.
Yeah, he was laughing about it. I think he does it to get a rise out of his players. They love to make fun of him and trying to pronounce some of the players' names.
Richie, of course, who was Brian Hill's high school coach in Orange, New Jersey, and later the coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
Right here, they're trying to post up Horace, get him involved in the game offensively a little bit.
There's the double team. Wennington comes over, and Royal loses the ball.
That was good rotation by Buechler. His presence forced Contact to turn it over.
Pippen. 5 minutes to go. First half of play. Kukoc. Two on the shot clock. Shot clock violation. The basket would not have counted.
Well, they really never got set in their triangle offense that time. They were a little bit out of kilter there. Kukoc had the ball a little bit too long, and Scottie mishandled a little bit and was forced to take that prayer of a shot.
4:43 remaining. 3-point Chicago lead. Orlando has not led in the ballgame. Trailed by as many as 13. Grant almost loses it. 9 on the shot clock. It's Royal, Contact, Anderson, Hardaway, and Grant. Royal over Buechler. Contact tries to get possession on Wennington and doesn't.
That's good position by Wennington, boxing out Contact. Good defense by the Bulls.
Michael Jordan, guarded by Anderson. Foul.
Well, I thought he had all ball right there, but that's the Michael Jordan whistle.
Yep. Nick thought he had all ball.
When you do make a good defensive play on him, you get frustrated that you don't get the call. Well, it could have been a foul. That's not a horrible call, even though I think he thought he had all ball. It's so frustrating because when you're playing against Michael Jordan and you finally do stop him, you want the benefit of that call, and you feel like sometimes he gets special treatment, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I know that in certain times in games, Michael does get the calls. And I had a chance to play with Larry Bird for many years, and we used to refer to him as the Bird calls. And he got quite a few of those himself.
Technical foul was called. Michael, 3-time MVP. I think the most interesting thing is the bottom line. 6-time all-defensive first team. It's something you tend not to think about.
Well, Michael has won as many games with his defense. He is incredible. Michael understood early. Maybe it was his good training in North Carolina under Dean Smith, but he came in understanding that in order to be successful in this league, you got to play both ends of the court. And all the great players understand that. And I think Penny Hardaway's coming to that realization.
Anderson out, Scott on. Nick Anderson kicks a part of the desk on the far side.
And we got Brian Shaw and Nick Anderson, two of the better defenders against Michael with 3 fouls. That could be a factor later in the game.
Jordan has 15. And the lead is back to 6 as we near the 4-minute mark of the first half. Largest lead of the game was 13. Chicago jumped off to a quick 6-0 start. Orlando has never led. Pippen on Hardaway. There's the pick by Horace Grant, and the shot won't fall. That was for 3. Jordan. Is that vintage? I know it didn't go, but
that's a great move.
42-36. Royal spins in the lane. Foul on Jordan or foul on Buechler? Michael Jordan.
Well, that's Donald Royal's game right there. He's not a great outside shooter, but he has a knack of finding the seams and getting to the line. And that was a good move. Spun right back into Michael and drew the foul. And that's what Hill talked about before the game. Brian wanted the team to get to the basket, try to out-free throw the other team.
Their free throw percentage as a team is understandably up from a year ago. Of course, Shaquille notoriously weak at the free throw line, shot 55%. They were dead last in percentage at 66, and as a team now, with Shaquille on the bench, the team is shooting 73%. I know it's early, but
it's early. But yeah, they should be a better free throw shooting. You know, lose a guy that's shooting 55% off your team, that's going to jack it up right there. Plus, Shaquille shoots the most free throws of anybody on the team.
Right. Buechler will go to the free throw line.
Well, Buechler's successful three-point shooting so far this year forced Dennis Scott to run out and try to contest that three-point shot and allowed him to get to the basket. When you can shoot that three-pointer, it makes you just a little bit quicker. I run into Judd every summer playing beach volleyball in San Diego.
I was laughing with him before the game. His wife, Lindsay, was a student at the University of Arizona, as Judd was, and she was a radio television major. Every time we do a college game down there, she would work with us. I was asking why they didn't stop in Steamboat, where I live, on their way home from Chicago. He said they had to get back to the beach in a hurry. Here's Hardaway. Scott. Oh, good pass. Konkak again, and they get Kukoc.
That was a good call. That was great ball movement by Orlando.
That's the third foul on Tony Kukoc. Time has been called. 5-point lead for Chicago. Maybe it's not the shoes, it's the uniform. Here's Craig Sager.
Well, Vern, for 30 years, the Chicago Bulls have worn white at home and red on the road until tonight, where they debut their new uniform, their secondary road option, which is black with red pinstripes, which, according to league rules, they must wear a minimum of 12 times. Throughout the 90s, the Bulls have led the league in retail sales. By the way, this will be in stores in Chicago tomorrow, and it sells replica style for $45.
You know, I think you do a nice job as a fashion commentator.
Well, you know what? I think, why don't they just come up with 6 different uniforms and they wear them 12 games each, and they'll be able to sell more product.
You don't think marketing has anything to do with this?
Oh, no. I'm surprised they don't have different numbers and try to market it that way as well, like Michael did last year. That was a marketing genius idea there.
Did I hear somebody whisper David Falk? Both free throws good. 43-40, 2:45 to go in the first half of play. Largest lead of the game was 13. Orlando has never led. Simpkins sat for a while, now back in place as new coach, and Buechler got free underneath.
That was a great pass by Simpkins. You know, they're in that half-court trap, and I think Buechler just snuck in behind somebody and got the easy basket there.
Lead back to 5. Grant, Hardaway, Scott, Konkak, and Donald Royal on the floor now for the Magic. Wow, they called Konkak with an elbow. We are back in the arena, sold out for the 218th consecutive time. Understandably, Chicago is here to take on the Orlando Magic. We're in the first half. Chicago comes in with an undefeated record, 5-0, and the Magic have lost just once. That was at Atlanta. Vern Lundquist, Danny Ainge, Craig Sager here. Scottie Pippen, and Buechler chases down the loose ball. Simpkins. Ball is short. Konkak has it.
Well, that's great defense by Horace Grant on the box. Simpkins was forced to take a bad shot.
Scott. Grant with a rebound. The putback is good.
Well, they need that. They need something out of Horace, and that's vintage Horace Grant right there. Offensive putbacks and garbage points. He's a hard worker, and he's taking advantage of the young Simpkins. Did a great defensive job on the other end as well. Here he's got inside position, and it's a great finish. Not much of a foul there, but good play.
Do you subscribe, as many do here, to the theory that it was Grant, when he decided to leave Chicago and come here, that really helped solidify this team last year?
Yes, I think that Horace Grant has solidified it. Interior defense was something that they were really lacking here. Horace is just a hard worker, rebounder, and good interior defense, and he was a big part of Chicago's success.
Wears 3 championship rings. Here's Pippen. Fadeaway. The tip, the rebound by Simpkins, no. Out of bounds, Orlando ball.
Well, we talked a little bit about Penny's youth and how he needs to become a better leader, and Shaq as well, and Horace helped fill that need as well for this team.
Hardaway had the brilliant start. He settled down a little bit in this quarter after he went out with a rest. Hasn't been able to get it reignited. Here's Scott, runs into Longley, and then Jordan is there with the quick hands to steal it. Yeah, they got it back at the other end. Here comes Jordan, gets him defensively. Final 45 seconds of the first half. The lead is 3. They kick it back out to Scott. Buechler defending. 5 on the shot clock. 3-pointer. No. Konkak. Back it comes to Dennis Scott off the pick by Konkak. And we are tied.
Now, great offensive rebound. He kills you. They tried to get 2 for 1, and they might get their last possession here, Orlando.
Konkak with a steal. On the line. Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights, and Ernie Johnson will have a live interview with the commissioner, David Stern. That's on the Reebok halftime report, and that is 13 seconds away.
Chicago's going to play for the last shot here.
Back to Pippen. Back to Jordan.
Hey, we ended the half the way we started it. Jordan on 5 from 3-point line.
Well, they're 2 of the 3 best perimeter players in the NBA, Jordan and Pippen, and the other one, Penny Hardaway, is leading his team in.
Well, what a great half of basketball right there. Chicago looks a little bit out of sync there in that second quarter with their offense. They never really quite got into it. Pippen was handling the ball a lot and lost it there a couple times at the end.
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok. Come see how the game is played on Planet Reebok.
Orlando is a perfect 4-0 at home this season, and they've won 43 of their last 45 at the arena. But after 24 minutes, Chicago has a 48-45 lead. The unbeaten Bulls, we should add. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Reebok Halftime Report. Tomorrow figures to be an important day for the NBA. For the first time in a couple of weeks, the league and its officials will meet face-to-face and try once again to reach agreement on a new contract, which would make it possible for the real NBA referees to replace the replacements who by tonight's end will have called all 88 NBA games this season. Joining us now from New York is NBA Commissioner David Stern. Commissioner, thank you very much for taking a few minutes with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Ernie.
The meeting tomorrow, will you be there?
Probably.
Because Mike Mathis had said if you show up, it's going to show him that he's really serious about getting this thing settled.
You know, Ernie, we're very serious about getting it settled. We've made an offer to our officials, despite their request for 90% and 60% increases. We've made an offer that that meets their stated demand of having a scale that makes them the highest salaried officials in sports. That's been forwarded to them today. We very much would like to have them back. If my presence is needed to show that we're serious, I'll be there, because we've been serious all through it. I'm worried that the leadership of the referees union has never been serious, and they're taking some very serious risks with our game.
Well, in speaking with Fred Slaughter, who is their attorney today, he was saying that let's go back to '92 and the 3-year agreement. All that they want is percentage increases similar to those, the same thing they got in '92. What is your read on that, and how do you respond to that?
Well, our read on that is back in that last agreement, we promised to get them up to the baseball officials. I was instrumental in those negotiations, and we took the starting salary from $38,000 up to $68,000 in 3 years, because I wanted our officials to have parity with other sports, after adding the third official, mind you. But now, when the country is dealing with 3% raises, and we're offering 45% over the 5-year proposal, which absolutely flat out puts them above the baseball officials, now Fred decides to change his tune to say, oh no, let's not discuss that. Let's go back and talk about the raises we got the last time that we asked you for to bring us up to the baseball officials. So I'm very concerned, though. I think our fans are entitled to have the regular officials referee the game if we can do it. But the referees haven't left us a choice, and I'm worried, because I think that our referees and their families are in the process of putting their future on what I would say is a discredited bargaining process.
Are you satisfied with what you're seeing on the floor right now with the replacements?
It isn't as good as it'll be in 3 weeks, when you know, when our development plan for putting a third official on the floor is through. I hope by, let's say, December 15th, maybe 30 days, we're moving the process along. We'll have 3 officials. It'll be better, I think, than the 2. But is it as good as the regular officials who have years and years of experience? No. But you make do with what you have to make do.
You say 3 weeks. Are we going to see 3 more weeks of this?
It depends. It's up to if our referees decide to accept our proposal to make them the highest salaried officials in sports, we can end it a lot sooner. If they don't, then I'm afraid that 3 weeks is going to seem like a small amount of time, because we could be in this for very much the long haul.
Isn't it going to get to a point at some point there, though, Commissioner, where you're going to have to say, we can't have this? I mean, doesn't there have to be an agreement here? The league is going to suffer, will it not?
Yes, but you know, that's what negotiation is about, not extortion. You negotiate, you say yes. To extortion, you always say no. And the referees' negotiating team has not done anything here but try to hold the league hostage, and we can't do that. So we will have a 3-man crew as soon as possible, and we will do the best we can under the circumstances.
Commissioner David Stern, thanks for taking a few minutes with us in New York tonight. Good luck tomorrow in the meeting, and I think I speak for a lot of NBA fans. We want to see the real thing out there.
I agree.
Thank you very much, Commissioner David Stern, joining us from New York. When the Reebok Halftime Report continues, the Tuesday night highlights. Bulls leading the Magic 48-45. We'll be back here in just a minute.
Halftime in the arena. Chicago Bulls lead by 3. They were up by as many as 13. Then Orlando came back to tie it. Michael Jordan, who else, hits the three-pointer. Impressions of the first half, Danny?
Well, I thought both teams played extremely hard. It's going to be really interesting in this second half how much energy Michael Jordan has, how much energy Penny Hardaway has. Those two guys played with a lot of intensity. They both worked hard on defense. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how much they have left in the fourth quarter.
Let's break it down statistically for you and see what the highlights might be. By quarter, the Bulls fell off considerably in the second quarter, and the Magic improved just a bit. And Michael Jordan with 18 points, 21 for Hardaway, 3 of 4 on three-pointers for Jordan, and 2 of 5 for Penny Hardaway. So, as advertised, they have shined tonight. One man who could not shine tonight because he's out with a broken thumb is Shaquille O'Neal, but he did chat just a moment ago with Craig Sager.
Shaquille O'Neal is on the injured list for the first time in his career after an incident with Matt Geiger that required surgery on his right thumb. Shaq, according to Dennis Scott, you've not been coping well with this injury. How difficult has it been for you?
It's been real difficult, but I have to learn to cope with it. So I took the first 2 weeks off, and now I'm working out and riding a bike. When I come back, I will come back with a vengeance that has never been seen before.
Vengeance. What about retaliation? This hack-a-Shaq defense has become quite prevalent.
I don't believe in retaliation. I'm just going to have to raise my game a level and play harder. But I'm not going to take any of the nonsense. I can understand a hard foul, but no more hacking.
Have you talked to the league about maybe some of the things that opponents have done to you?
No.
You can put in your own hands.
I'm just going to, come out, play hard. I'm not worrying about paying anyone back. I'm just going to, try and hurry up and get off the injured list. And when I come back, I'm just going to try to pick up where I left off.
Can we see you Friday, December 22nd against the Knicks on TNT?
Probably not.
When do you think you'll be back?
Probably sometime after that.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
All right.
Well, that's either great news for TBS on Wednesday night, or else the Peacock is thrilled right now.
Look at Shaq. He's not going to retaliate, but I don't know about that suspension that Geiger got for that foul that we saw him do on Shaq. Maybe a flagrant foul and the ball out of bounds, but a one-game suspension was a little steep. I might not have ever played had they made those if those rules existed when I played.
I wondered how you were going to address that. Well, we're ready for the second half. Penny Hardaway, 21 points. Michael Jordan, 18. Ron Harper leads the Bulls back on 4. 48-45.
Chicago was able to post up Pippen on Hardaway early in the game, and was very successful, and they got away from that.
Here's Longley. Contact gives him a little work in the back. The shot is short. The runner by Pippen. And Horace Grant comes down with it for Orlando. Pippen has missed his last 4 shots. Hardaway, Jordan. Pick and roll. Penny takes it baseline, kicks it back to Horace Grant.
Chicago's made an adjustment on their defense. They're going to push Penny baseline and try to get the help and force Horace Grant to shoot from the outside.
Anderson with a little bit of an off-balance shot.
Well, and that's why Nick Anderson's shooting 36% from the field so far this year. We all know he's a much better shooter than that, but without Shaq in there, sometimes they're forced to take a lot of shots with the shot clock running down. They're just not getting the good looks that they have when Shaq is in there. And they're pushing the baseline again.
Contact.
Oh, well, that's an awful looking shot right there, and Orlando's going to have to make an adjustment on the adjustment that Chicago made, because they obviously don't want Contact shooting that shot all night on the pick and roll.
Here's Jordan, Ron Harper, and Longley. Little running left hook. Contact battles for it. Loose ball. Grant saves it, is on the line. And the call is finally made.
Well, that's really good hustle. Scottie Pippen started the whole thing by knocking the ball away from Contact and Grant in on the rebound. Good hustle by Simpkins, good hustle by Grant.
Scottie Pippen will inbounds now. It's Pippen, Jordan, Longley, Simpkins, and Harper. This is the starting 5 on the floor for Phil Jackson's crew. Hardaway, Anderson, who's playing with 3 fouls. Scott, Contact, and Grant. Harper. foul in the lane.
Well, so far, both teams have made the adjustments. They're really trying to dictate who gets the shots. Both teams, they've each had 2 shots at the basket so far. None of them have been very high percentage shots. And so the defense is winning out here early in the 3rd quarter.
Here comes Jordan. Harper gets it back from Longley, takes the shot short.
I think Hardaway got a piece of that shot, but there's another bad percentage shot there by the Chicago Bulls.
Anderson backs in on Jordan and gets the foul on Jordan.
He's good down in the low post, and they had the double team coming quick, and there's no reason to foul him down there when you know the double team's coming.
That's 3 fouls on Michael. Scott inbounds to Concact, quickly over to Horace Grant. Now Anderson posting up Simpkins. That's Nick Anderson.
That's Nick Anderson's shot. He shoots that shot in the paint great. You notice they took Michael off him as soon as Michael picked up his 3rd foul.
Jordan's shot is long, but Simpkins gets the offensive board.
Oh, great defensive play by Hardaway.
It really was, because Jordan was coming on the cut. Now here's Penny at the other end, and he will go to the free throw line.
That's a beautiful steal by Hardaway. Good anticipation. That's the athletic ability that he has, and the ability to make those steals on the Bulls right there. The Bulls are struggling offensively right now. They really haven't got any good looks, and they're just not in their offense. But you got to give a lot of credit to Orlando's defense right now.
Hardaway at the line, where he's hitting 80% early in the season. Go back and take a look, Danny, at this defensive gem.
Well, Simpkins sees Jordan coming down, but Penny outleaps Michael and anticipates the pass. He left the lane open and then jumped in front of the pass.
The first lead of the night for the Orlando Magic. They fell behind at the outset 6-0. Trailed by as many as 13. Were tied once late first half. Illegal defense, the 2nd of the night, called against the Orlando Magic.
Illegal defense against the Magic. That is
Seattle leading Philly by 15. Charlotte and Atlanta notched in the 4th. Milwaukee over San Antonio by 3. And Jordan at the line on the technical.
Well, you know, John Concact right there was cheating down a little bit. He's got to help out so much down on Pippen and on Michael that he just wasn't paying much attention to Longley out there and started cheating and got caught.
9:35 to go, 3rd quarter. 49 all. Anderson fights through Longley's pick. Now they come right side. There's a skip pass by Harper to Simpkins. Nope. Anderson rebound Orlando.
Another good defensive stand by Orlando.
Hardaway. Orlando 39-2 at home here a year ago. They are formidable on this court, and they're unblemished at home so far this year. Now Chicago.
See if they can get Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen a good shot. I think Orlando will live with that.
Yep. Chicago 0 for 6, Danny, in this quarter.
And they really haven't had any good shots yet. That's the reason.
Hardaway, fadeaway.
Yes. Well, he's taking advantage of Michael right now. He knows Michael's got 3 fouls on him, and he can't be overly aggressive. So good heads-up play by Penny Hardaway, taking it to Michael that time.
Hardaway is 8 for 12 in the ball game, and he's got 25 points, only 2 under his season average. Pippen has only 4 points tonight. Here's Longley, gets the entry pass from Jordan. Back to Scottie Pippen over Hardaway, in and out. Orlando rebound, Anderson, 2-on-2, Hardaway. Back to Scott, it was a low pass. Dennis Scott behind the back, puts it off the rim. Loose ball foul. And for the moment, let's go back and take a look at Penny Hardaway over Michael Jordan.
Well, Penny right now, he's saying clear out. Stay there because Michael Jordan's got 3 fouls on him. Going to take him. He sees the help coming and shoots the step back. Beautiful shot. Not bad defense by Michael.
Substitution number 7, Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc back on the floor now, replacing Dickie Simpkins. Oh, going to be Ron Harper.
Well, they really need another offensive player out there because Orlando is forcing, you know, Simpkins and Longley and Harper to shoot, and they want to have someone else shoot.
Grant, Kukoc chases it down. 51-49, Orlando up by 2. Here's Scottie Pippen. Pippen has missed his last 6 field goals. Here's Longley in and out. Chicago can't buy one. Hardaway. Didn't work the way he wanted.
No, he was looking for Dennis Scott. Tony Kukoc did a good job of picking up Dennis Scott in the transition that time. Jordan's got 3 fouls. He's looking for help.
Hard foul, Longley. Grant will go to the free throw line.
Well, it was bad rotation by Chicago right there. A little bit late. Horace Grant did a great job of diving to the basket when he recognized his man was going down to double team, realizing that Jordan had the 3 fouls.
Phil Jackson has not made the move to Wennington yet. He's going to leave Longley in there with 4. And Horace Grant will go to the free throw line. That one rattled around and went through. 3 championships with Chicago. And a pretty decent defensive player, isn't he? 3-time all-defensive second team.
Yeah, he had 4 block shots. We were saying he hadn't done much offensive. The 4 block shots were pretty critical for Chicago in that second quarter.
Time has been called. We have 7:26 remaining in the third. Magic by 3. We're back in Orlando. Danny, take us back through that defensive problem that
well, right here, Nick Anderson's trying to isolate Michael, realizing he's in foul trouble. Simpkins recognized it and is coming over for the double team. And just as he's coming over for the double team, Horace Grant's going to recognize it and dive to the basket. The only problem is that Luke Longley is a step late in picking up Horace Grant on the dive for the basket and results in a foul.
And there it is. Longley had to take the hard foul, and Grant will now shoot 1 more. Lead is 4, largest of the night for the Magic, 53-49. First of 4 meetings in the regular season between these two this year. There it goes to Kukoc. By the way, Chicago with a back-to-back. They go home to face Cleveland tomorrow night. Orlando is here against Indiana on Thursday night. And what an interesting game that's going to be. The Pacers won't be able to suit anybody up.
Yeah, all their starting lineup is out for that game. And that's sad for the fans. As well as the Pacers, but you know they made their bed and they have to live with that.
That is the result of suspensions handed out by the league office in New York over the recent fracas involving the Pacers. There's a Pippen harassed by Hardaway. Oh! Oh!
Oh boy!
Oh! Scotty had missed 6 in a row, and he cans that one.
Well, Scotty again. You know, almost missed 7 in a row because he's not getting good looks. But that's what kind of great player Scottie Pippen is. Here, great defense by Hardaway, knocking the ball out, and just a great athletic move by Pippen.
Just a basic running 30-foot three-pointer.
Yeah.
52-53. Randy Brown is in now, wearing number 0, and the rebound in the hands of John Koncak.
Well, Phil Jackson's got to be happy. At least that was a good look, square shoulders, plenty of time to shoot. If they could get shots like that every time, Chicago will be all right. But Orlando's defense is good right now.
Randy Brown is drawing the defensive assignment now on Penny Hardaway. There's the pick and roll. Koncak. They skip by Koncak and find Anderson spotting up for the 3, not there.
Well, that was good execution on offense. Again, they had a good look at it, and they just weren't able to finish it.
Randy Brown taken down hard. Offensive foul. They got him throwing the elbow. Now let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. Seattle up by 12. Atlanta leading by 6. And Milwaukee still up by 3 over San Antonio.
Well, Phil's got Randy Brown guarding Hardaway down there right now, and he loves Randy Brown's defense, and that's why Chicago picked him up.
Longley. Grant goes to the line again.
Well, once again, Longley is a step late in that rotation. He's got to see Horace Grant coming down the lane and step up that time. He's doing a terrible job of rotating right now, and he's either got to protect the basket by blocking shots, or he's got to come up a step to help contest that pass. Right here, you see Tony Kukoc going down to double on Hardaway, and Luke Longley is protecting the basket, and he's got to get there quicker.
I'm thinking back to our conversation with Phil Jackson this morning. Danny asked him what he thought of Penny Hardaway. And he said, I'll tell you this, he's the only guy I would trade for other than a center. That's how much I think of him.
Right, trade Scottie Pippen for.
Scottie Pippen for, I'm sorry.
A lot of talk about trading Scottie last year, and at any league, any player in the league, coach in the league would die to have Penny Hardaway on his team. I can tell you that.
Grant. Ugly.
You know, let's getting back to that Penny Hardaway. I have to believe that that is one of the greatest trades in NBA history, getting Penny Hardaway. Pat Williams and John Gabriel did a great job getting that trade.
How about Brian Williams telling us that they knew once they had Chris Webber in here twice to look at him that that was not the guy they ultimately wanted. And they almost had Tyrone Hill as a part of the deal that worked around.
That's right. That would have even been better. Tyrone's turned out to be a great player in Cleveland. But Penny Hardaway and 3 #1 picks for a whole team is a good deal.
Those #1s come in 96, 98, and 2000. They got a pick of the millennium. Here's Jordan. .5:25 to go third quarter. 53-52. Hardaway. Strip. Dennis Scott.
Well, that was good defense there by Randy Brown and Michael Jordan helping out. Excellent defense. They're really clogging the paint on Penny, and someone's going to have to step up. Right here, Randy Brown's got him. Penny puts a good move on him. Crossover. Brown stays in front of him, but there comes Luke Longley, Jordan, Kukoc. They all collapse on him. Good defense by Randy Brown. You know, Chicago is building their team around defending Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. And that's why they went out and got a guy like Randy Brown to help play defense on those big guards.
Well, it was kind of interesting again. Here's Kukoc, and he is fouled and will go to the line. Danny, our conversation with Phil Jackson, when you asked him why they left B.J. Armstrong unprotected for the expansion draft.
Well, and you know, B.J. wasn't able to defend the big guards of Orlando. He wasn't able to defend Dennis Scott, Anderson, or Penny Hardaway in the low post, and they took advantage of that. He really believes their best team is eventually going to be Pippen, Jordan, and Kukoc.
At the 1, 2, and 3.
At the 1, 2, and 3. And that matches up better. They realize Orlando is a team to beat for the next 10 years, and they really want to keep that lineup down the stretch of games against the Orlando matchups.
Of course, all of that happened before they acquired Dennis Rodman in the Will Perdue trade. And, of course, B.J. Armstrong gone in the expansion draft. 4:48. We are tied in the third quarter at 53-all. Pippen. Hardaway. Well, fade away. This time on the front rim. Loose ball foul. John Koncak is going to get a tee here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep, there it comes.
I think he deserved a tee on that because, first of all, I thought it was the right call. Koncak went after the ball. Brown had the ball and looked like Koncak got him with his elbow or his shoulder on that rebound. Randy Brown plays a lot taller than he is, and here he goes up and gets the ball. Here goes Koncak, bumps right into him. Good call by the official. Brown had that ball. No reason to argue.
Jordan misfires on the technical. Here's what cost him the technical.
Vern, I don't understand how players can react that way.
Brian Hill, what did he say to you this morning? Something about the word whine came in. I know.
Yeah.
And I know he wasn't talking about Cabernet.
Well, I know that Billy Crystal refers to me as white wine.
Oh, boy. 4:15 to go in the third quarter. 53-all still. It's degenerated somewhat. Jordan. Nope. Anderson, strong rebound.
Well, Michael's trying to make something happen for Chicago's stagnant offense. They're really struggling after the great start they got off to, and Michael's trying to force that issue a little bit.
Michael Jordan, one of his last 7 from the field. There's Anderson in the low post. Foul. He'll go to the line.
Now Anderson, again, he's a great low post player, and Randy Brown may be a little bit too small to defend him in the low post. But that's what Phil Jackson told us, that they loved about Randy Brown. They watched film when he played with Sacramento and saw how good he had played defensively against Anderson, against Hardaway, against Shaw, and against Dennis Scott, and that's why they wanted him and why they pursued him in the free agent market this summer. Chicago's struggling so bad offensively, though. I'd be surprised if Steve Kerr doesn't come in here pretty quick. They really, even though defensively it's a tough matchup for him, just like it was for B.J. Armstrong, they really need his outside shooting to space the floor here.
Lead is back to 2 for Orlando. We're late in the third quarter. 5-0 Chicago Bulls, 5-1 Orlando Magic. Wennington travel.
I can't believe that's the offense Chicago wants right now. One-on-one play with Bill Wennington in the low post. He's a better spot-up shooter than he is with his back to the basket.
3.5 to go, third quarter. Orlando up by 2. They got Nick Anderson, Michael Jordan. Who's this going to go against? Oh, it goes against Jordan. Whoa!
Well, I don't like that call. Michael Jordan was trying to front and go around, and Nick Anderson was holding him off with his arm. Right here, Michael Jordan's going to go for the steal, and Nick Anderson's going to push Michael and hold him off with his strength. I mean, that's just a no call, but Nick Anderson created the space and the contact. Right here, Jordan's just going for the ball, and Nick pushes him off with the off arm. That's a call, probably shouldn't be called either way. Good play by Nick Anderson, though. Like we said earlier in this game, acting is part of the game.
Lead is 4. Jordan plays with 4 fouls. Kukoc. That's for 2, just inside the line. Had his foot on the line.
Had both feet on the line. You need to either get inside the line or get outside the line. It's not a good shot to take that, but they needed that hoop. Another good shot.
Grant. Anderson shoving from behind. They got Nick Anderson this time. That's the call that Jordan thought he was going to get the last time down.
Well, it was a very similar play. Nick got away with it the first time. He felt like he could get away with it again. And I think that official was doing what we call the makeup call there, Vern.
Even with replacement of officials.
Yeah, tell me how that's not a whole lot different than the play before. And they each got a foul. Maybe that's fair.
I don't think Michael would agree. Time has been called. We're back live. Orlando leading Chicago 57-55. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this one. A doubleheader coming up tomorrow. Nuggets and Suns. Game 1, Mavericks and Lakers in Game 2. Danny Ainge, of course, recently retired from the Phoenix Suns. Going back home, you didn't know about this part of the contract, though. You're doing sidelines tomorrow.
No, matter of fact, I gotta call my agent and make sure. I thought I got out of back-to-back games.
Here's the deal. Turner saves on per diem, and they get you home anyway. So I look forward. You're working with Dick and Chuck tomorrow night and have fun with that.
That should be a good game. I look forward to it. Denver is one of the disappointments so far this early season, and Phoenix is playing well right now. They had a great game last week.
Look at the field goal percentage in this quarter. 2 of 13 for Chicago, 2 of 9 for Orlando. Well, Wennington.
Well, that's his bread and butter. And just create a double team with Michael and give Wennington an open shot. I don't think you have to go down and post him up to create shots for Wennington.
Hardaway, that was tipped. It'll be Orlando's to inbound.
13, shoot 13.
108-102, and Charlotte leading over Atlanta by a couple. Milwaukee up by 6 at the half at home.
Foul number 0.
Randy Brown gets called for this one.
His third.
Well, Brian Shaw's coming off the bench. They need to have him give him the same spark he gave him in the first half. He gave him a big lift in that first half and gets to the free throw line. Not a smart foul by Randy Brown there.
One more. Lead back at 1. (59-57). Wennington, Brown, Jordan, Pippen, Kukoc on the floor for Chicago. Hardaway, Shaw, Grant, Anderson, and Donald Royal for Orlando. Jordan, they call him for traveling.
Well, I don't see the traveling in that play. Michael was in the air and just threw the ball down before he got rid of the ball. Michael's laughing about it right now. I'm saying, even if I did travel, they don't call those on me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think he traveled that time.
Shaw guarded by Randy Brown.
2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes.
Hardaway. Good ball movement by Orlando, and it results in an Anderson three-pointer.
Big shot by Nick Anderson. He's been struggling from the perimeter like we talked about. The first one he shot was in and out, and he nailed that one.
Lead is 5, largest lead of the night for the Magic. Kukoc. The double team from Hardaway. Pippen, and it's taken away by Hardaway. Off the feed, and will shoot free throws. Randy Brown fouls Nick Anderson.
Well, that was good defense, but what really happened right there was Scottie Pippen had Randy Brown wide open at the three-point line. He didn't want to pass him the ball. He knew Randy Brown's not a three-point shooter. If that would have been Steve Kerr right there, that was 3 points. And that's the give and take with this lineup. Randy Brown is such a great defender, but offensively, he doesn't space the floor near as good as Steve Kerr. And just as I say that, here comes Steve Kerr in the game. I think Phil Jackson recognizes that they need that outside shooting.
Yeah, that one cost him, no question about it. So Kerr will come in, and Michael Jordan is going to get a rest with those 4 fouls.
Well, the only problem with Kerr coming in for Jordan is Kerr's not a guy that can create his own shot. And Michael, the way that the Orlando Magic are defending him is creating shots for other people right now. So now you got Scottie, who's going to have to create shots, and Kukoc, who's going to have to create shots for themselves and for Kerr.
Misfire at the free throw line. Pippen. The lead is 6, 63-57, with 85 seconds to go, quarter number 3. Anthony Bowie getting ready to make his first appearance of the season for the Orlando Magic. Here's Kukoc. Oh, boy. And then the shot won't go as he got by Royal.
Well, that was a great move by Kukoc. Too bad he couldn't finish on the play, but it was a good move, good patience.
Welcome back, Anthony Bowie.
Yeah, he's one of the crowd favorites, and you know, they miss not having him. The players love him, the fans love him, the whole community in Orlando loves Anthony Bowie, so that was one big reason why they got him back.
Signed on November 5th, has been active for a couple of games, but hasn't played until just now. Royal, and Hardaway on Pippen. Kukoc finds Kerr, gets it back, 3 points.
Well, that's a tough shot, but I hate to keep harping on this, but again, Randy Brown is the guy that's open out there, and they're very hesitant to throw him the ball in the perimeter. They're staying home with Kerr, they're double teaming Pippen, and they're leaving Randy Brown open. And that's hurting Chicago's offense right now.
It was a 3-point Chicago lead at the half. It's a 3-point Orlando lead and make it 5. Oh, unconscious.
What a great shot by Penny Hardaway. He's been doing that all game. I think he's starting to turn it back up again, realizing the fourth quarter is near.
Lead is 5. Brown passes on the shot. They leave him open. Bowie now out. Here's Caffey. Jason Caffey, the rookie. And the shot goes for Pippen.
Well, Scottie Pippen bailed him out. Kukoc bailed him out last time. Pippen bails him out there. Two-man basketball with Randy Brown and Caffrey is not what Phil Jackson's wanting out of his offense right now.
Shaw. Joe Wolf has made his first appearance now, too, wearing number 12. Sets the pick for Hardaway. 4 on the shot clock. Penny shoots. Oh. Other end for Steve Kerr. What a performance by Penny Hardaway.
Well, I think Scottie actually hit Penny. He's asking for a foul on that play as well. I don't think Penny was trying to bank that. I think that was very lucky. Scottie was laughing at him, and Penny was laughing, saying, hey, I should have got to the free throw line and made a 4-point play.
Not unless this was a game of horse we didn't know about. Back for the fourth in a moment. Orlando's gotten 30 out of Penny Hardaway at the end of 3. They're up by 6. Penny, talk with us before the game about the changes in his game from this year to last.
Well, I think the way that I worked this summer has made me a better player aggressively. You know, I'm more aggressive this year than I was any other year that I've ever played basketball. I felt for me to be successful and for my team to win or make it past the finals and win it, I was going to have to be more aggressive, and you know, that's what I thought about all summer.
Well, we have seen some signs of his aggression tonight. And in the game winner against Miami here over the weekend, he took it to the basket strong over Alonzo Mourning.
That's exactly right. And Brian Hill told us this morning that's as aggressive as he has ever seen Penny. So that's a good sign. Right now, Penny's not out to start the fourth quarter. Let's see how long Orlando can hang on to this lead while Penny gets a rest.
Chicago 5 of 18 from the field. Here's Joe Wolf. Got it. And he's fouled.
I don't think they're going to count the basket, Vern. They waved the basket off. Good move by Joe Wolf, taking advantage of the rookie down low.
Jason Caffey, his second, first team
Foul before the shot.
They got him for the two hands there. It's a good call.
Now down low, Anthony Bowie has it taken away. Steve Kerr loses it. Orlando gets it back.
Well, it was a good steal by the Bulls and good help. Orlando was trying to post up Anthony Bowie on Steve Kerr. Fortunate for Orlando, they got the ball back.
Brian Shaw had a terrific stretch. Late first quarter, early second.
That's why Randy Brown's in the game right there. That's a great defensive play. Good block of a much taller Brian Shaw.
Donald Royal.
That's vintage Donald Royal. They really need to help out. They need to keep Donald Royal on the perimeter. His whole game is going to the basket, getting to the free throw line. They can beat you from the outside.
Largest lead of the game, and this is something Orlando has not known this year. They've been down by 8 to 10 in every game they've played in the fourth quarter. But they have an 8-point lead right now with 11 to go. Pippen. Caffey is fouled by Joe Wolf.
Well, that's a good play by Scottie Pippen, creating, dishing off to Caffrey.
Joe Wolf.
29 points in the first 12 minutes, including an 18 to 7 lead early on. And since then, frigid air.
And you know, I think it's because of the defense Orlando's playing. Orlando has picked up their defense. You know, the substitution started coming in, and Chicago has a lot of non-shooters. And they put a big burden on Michael and Scotty to try to get some shots, and the quality of their shots has diminished since the first 12 minutes of the game.
Pippen has 9 points in the ball game. Jordan has 19. Kukoc off the bench has chipped in 12. Back it comes to Joe Wolf. Here comes Randy Brown. Nice pass on. Nifty.
Great play by Randy Brown. Great defense again by Randy Brown at the other end. Created some points with his defense.
Lead is cut to 5. Kukoc with the basket. Here's another steal. This one by Scottie Pippen. Brown calls for it. Kukoc gets it, takes the jumper. The tip, Randy Brown. Loose ball foul. Scottie Pippen.
I didn't see that one. I couldn't see the foul there. Scotty's not real happy, neither is Phil.
Horace Grant gives Joe Wolf a rest. Nice start for Joe Wolf, playing with his 6th NBA team. He actually played 18 minutes against Chicago last Friday night, or a week ago Friday night, for Charlotte. See, I do a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, the depth of my research is just unimaginable. Yeah.
They just got the rookie Jason Caffrey with an illegal defense, and he's looking confused as to say, you know, what did I do wrong there?
Jimmy Rogers sitting next to Phil Jackson, one of your favorite coaches, right?
Yeah, I had a great time playing with Jimmy Rogers in Boston. He was our assistant there when we won the championship, and a big part of those championship teams in Boston.
Dennis Scott.
That's a great shot by Dennis Scott. A tough shot over one of the best defensive players in the league, and Scottie Pippen, great defense and just a good finish.
Jason Caffey, the rookie from Alabama, gets 2.
Good post-up shot. Phil told us this morning that he likes his game, his athletic ability. He has a chance to be a good player in this league. Even though he's a little short for a power forward, he has a chance with his wide shoulders to really be a good power forward.
Caffey 6'8", and Phil said he's about 2 inches too short. Here's Grant. Nope. Royal chases it down.
Hustle points.
Yep.
You know, just outworked Chicago on that loose ball, and a good play by Donald Royal.
Lead is back to 7, nearing the 9-minute point. Kukoc. Grant goes for it. Bowie saves it. And gets the ball to Royal. Here comes Brian Shaw. Grant. Buechler, Pippen, Brown, Cappy, and Kukoc.
Oh, great drive by Scotty. That's a defensive player's nightmare when you see a player as quick and as agile as Scotty and athletic, who can also shoot the perimeter shot, give you a little head and shoulder fake and make you lean and tear your sneakers up, so to speak.
Scotty gets the first. Join TNT Sports Friday as the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone travel to Detroit to take on the Pistons and Grant Hill. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown will have all of that action beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Friday night on TNT. Pippen gets them both. 5-point ball game, 8:40 remaining. Scott. Travel.
Now that would actually look like a good call there. Good defense by Pippen, forcing the bad shot. They trapped Pippen in the backcourt, and I thought he did lift his pivot foot before he put the ball on the ground.
8.5 remaining. 74-69. Orlando. Shaw. Loose ball picked up by Buechler. Jordan continues to sit on the bench. Pippen, no. Oh, wow. Scott.
Oh. 3. What a turnaround right there. Randy Brown makes a great feed to Scotty. Scotty's holding hands over his face. He knows that was a big play. Not only the 2 they didn't get, but the 3 they gave up as a result of the missed dunk. Huge play, biggest play of the game so far.
Watch the miss, first of all, by Scottie Pippen. How rare is this?
Great pass by Randy Brown. Scottie Pippen right there. And that led to an easy 3-point shot by Dennis Scott down here at this end.
.802 remaining in the ball game, and the lead is 8, and Craig Sager is with Pat Williams. Craig?
Well, Pat, is the general manager of the Orlando Magic. How has Penny Hardaway fulfilled your expectations in this his 3rd season?
Well, beyond anything we could have hoped for, really. Obviously, the injury to Shaq has forced him to take on more offensive responsibility, and boy, is he doing it.
We all have a lot to be thankful for, but Shaquille O'Neal 1 year in the draft, Penny Hardaway the next. Why are you so lucky?
Well, we have been blessed. There's no question. We've had a lot of good fortune. Now a lot is expected of us, Greg. We've got to take advantage of it.
Hey, good luck.
Thank you.
You know, in years to come, that Hardaway trade may be the basketball equivalent of Herschel Walker from the Cowboys to Minnesota.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, that was a great trade. And, you know, Pat Williams and John Gabriel deserve a lot of credit. You know, Pat just wrote a book called Go for the Magic. And it's a self-motivational book, and the success he's had in his career, I think I'm going to read that book.
Michael Jordan back on the court and makes his presence felt immediately.
And Penny Hardaway back as well.
Now let's set the lineups. Here's Dennis Scott guarded by Buechler, and Scott takes it over, Judd.
That's a good shot. Good defense by Buechler. Dennis Scott has a knack of making tough shots.
13 points for Dennis Scott. He's averaging 22 this year. That's up 9 over his point production off the bench last season. Jordan guarded by Hardaway. Pippen. And a loose ball foul on Kukoc.
Well, that's not really the shot they want. It wasn't a bad look for Pippen. Pippen makes the tough ones. And Chicago needs to get their offense in gear a little bit. It looks like Phil Jackson's decided to stick with his defensive team and keep Steve Kerr on the bench.
Scottie Pippen, 4 of 14. That's symptomatic of the kind of problems the Bulls are having tonight. Here's Shaw, takes it by Jordan and finds Royal. Got it.
Great shot by Donald Royal. Beautiful finish. That puts him up 10. That's a huge bucket.
Double-digit lead for the first time tonight. Here's Luke Longley. And Dennis Scott is going to get this one, or Royal. It's going to be
Foul number 54, Horace Grant.
Horace Grant. Well, give me 3 tries and I'll get it right.
Third team foul. Luke Longley shooting 2.
Seattle knocks off Philly in Philly. And Atlanta, aren't they, Dan?
Yeah, Atlanta's off to a great start. What about my guy, Sean Bradley, out of BYU, leading the league in rebounding going into tonight's game?
That is pleasing, isn't it? Because he struggled for a couple of years.
Well, John Lucas loves him there simply because he's gone through so much adversity with the fans in Philly, and everybody wanted him out of town. And so far this year, for 6 games, he may be the most improved player to this point. Hope he can keep it up.
81-72, 6:28 remaining in this one. Again, Cleveland up for Chicago tomorrow night at home. And Thursday night encounter against Indiana here. Then they go down to Miami. That is going to be one of the more heated rivalries to come.
Orlando, Miami. There's an offensive foul called on Brian Shaw.
Well, you see, that's why Michael Jordan's first team all-defense for 6 straight years, MVP of the league, 3 championship rings. That was great defensive play by Michael Jordan to jump in front of Brian Shaw and to get that turnover. Here, Brian Shaw is run out by Kukoc, and Michael comes over and gets good position, draws the charge. Great play at the right time.
And at the other end, he cans the jumper. So 4 quick points for Michael Jordan. That's only 5 in this half, however.
I think Michael recognizes the urgency of the situation right now, and he's going to take this game over, try to create or get his own shot.
On the defensive end, he guards Shaw. Here's Hardaway, Pippen on him. Penny has won that matchup tonight. There's the ball thrown away.
Well, you know, they just started playing Pippen on him late in the 3rd quarter, now in the 4th quarter. And this is the matchup we talked about before the game, and the defensive job that Scotty can do on Penny right now is going to be critical.
Anderson back on the floor, and Donald Royal will get a rest. Pippen fouled underneath by Penny Hardaway.
Well, Chicago's gone small. They've basically gone with 4 guards and then a power forward to play center. And this is the lineup they like. This is the best perimeter lineup, the best defensive lineup, and it's the quickest lineup they can put out on the court.
Pippen misses the first. 2 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Two of 7. But he does get the follow shot.
Well, if you're going to miss him, that's the best way to miss him right back to yourself. Big play.
5.
Big play right there.
And 5 unanswered points now for the Chicago Bulls. Jordan, Hardaway gets a pick from Grant, takes the jumper, got it!
Well, Penny Hardaway's taking the game over right now, too. He sees the urgency in each possession right now. And that's the maturity of a great young player.
Jordan traveled.
Now, Michael's a little bit frustrated by that call right there. He's saying, those old officials don't ever call that on me.
Bill Jackson didn't care for it either. 4:53 remaining.
Moving pick, Horace.
Offensive foul number 54, Horace Grant. His second, no team foul.
They're not getting the ball in bounds. The clock's running out. Ooh,
that was close.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen was asleep there. Michael was taking it out of bounds, and they weren't ready to inbound it. Almost cost him.
Buechler finds Kukoc. Anderson guards him. Jump hook. Pippen.
That's beautiful execution. Great pass by Kukoc. He's a great passer. Pippen got good position down on the low post for the quick shot.
Lead is 5, 4.5 remaining. First meeting of the season between these two. Chicago undefeated, the only team in the NBA still in that state of grace. And Orlando has lost just once. That was on the road to Atlanta. And they almost threw it away again. Scott can't save it.
Well, that's good defense. They're trapping Penny. They're trying to make Horace take the outside shot. Brian Hill sees that the team is losing a little bit. They've had a couple turnovers here down the stretch, not getting any good shots. This is the critical part of the game, and this is the difference between a young team and a veteran team.
Back at the arena, 5-point lead, 4:13 to go. Let's give you a quick video synopsis of what has happened here tonight. In the first quarter, Chicago got hot, went off to a 10-point lead, but Penny Hardaway kept Orlando in it. He had 14 first quarter points. In the second quarter, after Orlando fought back to tie it up, Michael Jordan hit a three-pointer just before halftime. Bulls led by 3, 48-45. In the third quarter, though, Orlando began a real serious comeback, led again by Hardaway, who had 30 points at the end of 3. And in the fourth quarter, Scottie Pippen had a miss of his stuff, and at the other end, Dennis Scott got the loose ball, took the three-point jumper, and at that point, Orlando was up by 10. However, Scottie Pippen just hit another basket, and the lead is now down to 3, 83-80.
I think Phil Jackson got that playbook out of the Phoenix Suns playbook. That's a play they run out of timeouts a lot. Great play, great call by Phil Jackson, and great execution.
Shaw looks inside. Pippen is fronting Hardaway. The basket goes, and Michael Jordan got loose, and Hardaway gets it back. How about the nifty play by Nick Anderson, calling a 20-second timeout?
That was a good heads-up play. They retained possession of the ball. But what about the outlet pass? Did he see anybody there, or was he just throwing the ball to Penny Hardaway?
I don't know. As he was going out of bounds, Anderson signaled for a 20-second timeout.
That was a heads-up play by Nick. Every possession's critical at this time. Michael gets a little piece of Brian Shaw there, gets away with one foul. Oh, Horace Grant makes a great play, strips the ball right there. Probably a pretty good no call right there. Luke Longley just standing there, and Penny trying to be aggressive.
Watch Nick Anderson now.
Good play by Nick. A Charles Barkley special. You know, they thought about changing that rule last year, and then they haven't changed it yet, and someday they may change that rule with guys jumping out of bounds making the call, but there's been a lot of discussion of whether that's a good rule or not.
Chicago, having fallen off the end of the world in the third quarter, has gotten it back now. And Jordan and Pippen have hit 11 of the last 13 Chicago points. You want your stars to step forward at the end.
Well, right now, they're the guys that are going to take the shots unless they get double-teamed and create a shot for one of the other guys. But they're the guys that are going to have the ball right now, and I think it's going to be Penny for the Magic.
He's in the low post. Pippen guards it. Now he's got it. 5 in the shot clock. That's not the shot Nick Anderson wanted.
No, you know, that was great defense by Chicago. That's exactly what they wanted to do. You know, shoot a 3 with pressure on the ball. That was good defense by Chicago.
3:11 remaining in regulation. Pippen has it stripped. It will be Chicago's to throw inbounds. And Scottie Pippen wonders why no foul. Yeah, they're going to let Buechler take it in.
Scottie's saying, I want the ball. I don't want to take the ball out of bounds. Give me the ball.
They get it to Jordan.
Double team.
Longley was open. Michael goes instead to Pippen. Battle for it. Jordan has it. Off the mark. Pippen rebound. Tipped out. And Kukoc calls another 20-second timeout. Well, what's good for the goose and the gander and so on.
Well, they're getting good shots at it. Pippen got a shot that he wanted. Although I think Orlando, who's out on the court, Orlando's not happy right now. And they may get a technical if they don't go sit down. But Orlando wants Pippen to take that 3 with pressure on him, just like Nick Anderson was forced to take the 3. Both teams are executing their defensive game plans very good right now. Here we go, Scottie Pippen. They don't mind that. They don't mind Scottie Pippen taking that shot. Great play by Kukoc to keep the ball alive. Jordan gets a great look at a 3. Another good play by Pippen. And a heads-up play by Tony Kukoc.
And after the 20-second timeout, we've got 2:51 remaining in regulation and a 3-point Orlando lead. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Kukoc will inbound. He finds Longley. Pippen guarded by Hardaway. Jordan low post goes to his left. Skip pass. Buechler spots up for 3. Nailed it.
That is huge. If Judd Buechler can hit that 3, then they don't have to worry about bringing Steve Kerr in and stick with their bigger lineup and play defense against Orlando's guards. Big shot by Judd.
We're tied with 2:25 to go. And Chicago on a 14-6 run since Michael Jordan came back on the floor. Scott taken away by Kukoc.
Great defense by Kukoc.
Pippen. Skip pass to Buechler. Here comes Anderson flying at him. Traveled.
Well, right idea by Buechler. Pump fake. He just made one. Pump fake, take it to the basket. He just lost control of the ball. He was playing some of that beach volleyball with it.
2:12 remaining. Tied at 83.
What a great game.
Not bad for week number 2 of the NBA season, huh? Shaw.
2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
1:55 remaining. Hardaway. Longley with a foul.
Oh, I mean, that is just such an athletic move. Scottie Pippen is such a great defender. Was battling him. They couldn't get the ball to Penny in the low post. Penny was determined. This is where the leadership comes up on Penny right here. He's determined. He came out to get the ball. There's only about 8 seconds left on the clock, but makes a great one-on-one move to draw the foul. Chicago had a foul to give, and they'll have to take it out of bounds.
And it was Pippen, not Longley. Nifty spin move. Got it. Dennis Scott.
Dennis Scott made some great shots, and that's under pretty good duress. That defense by Chicago was pretty good. Dennis Scott's made some very difficult shots.
Bill Jackson thinks he traveled. Didn't get that call.
Well, I thought Luke Longley could have got up there and tried to contest that shot a little more, but that's still a good finish by Dennis Scott right there. Not bad defense by Chicago.
Scott 4 of 5 in the quarter. He's got 9 points in this quarter.
And I think Longley just fouled out of the game. Maybe that's why he didn't try to contest the shot. He didn't want to foul out.
Dickie Simpkins will take his place. Each team with 3 timeouts remaining. Neither has a 20, and neither has a foul to give. So Longley fouls out with 7 points, and Dennis Scott is at the line. First free throw attempt for the evening. Three-point play by Scott, and a 3-point lead for Orlando.
Now Dennis Scott's got 16 big points for Orlando because they have been hard-earned tonight.
Kukoc looks inside. Here's Pippen. The double team comes from Grant. Taken away by Dennis Scott.
Great defense by Orlando right there, contesting that pass out of the double team by Pippen. Got a piece of the ball, and Scott was able to pick it off.
Anderson. Kukoc guards him. Over to Scott. They quickly get it in the hands of Hardaway.
Oh. You know, the thing that they haven't done well this year so far is shoot the threes, hit from the perimeter. But the reason that they're 5-1 is because they've been able to hit those shots down the stretch when they've needed them. So the shooting percentage is a little bit deceiving. Brian Shaw did it last game against Miami. Penny Hardaway does it this game.
Daggers with 1:07 to go. A 3-point play by Scott, a 3-pointer by Hardaway. The celebration in Orlando. Take a look at the last 2 offensive plays, Dan.
Well, this is a big play. We saw it with Dennis Scott shooting over Longley, getting Longley fouled out of the game. Then you got Nick Anderson isolated, forcing the double team. Great skip pass over the top to Dennis Scott, and Anthony Hardaway hits a big 3.
And one more view of that three-pointer from Anthony Hardaway.
You see right here, Michael knows Anthony is such a great penetrator that he can't run out at him and contest a shot. So he decides to concede the three-point shot to Hardaway. Hardaway shoots 20% on the year and knocks down a big at the right time.
Jordan guarded by Shaw. Off the mark, rebound, Anderson. And Steve Kerr, who had just come into the lineup, I think draws a foul, yes.
Well, they had the fouls. Good defense by Orlando, big rebound.
His second penalty situation in effect.
What kind of a night has Penny Hardaway had? 35 points tonight.
I don't know about you, Vern, but I think I'm convinced he's in the same category with Pippen and Jordan, the way he's playing so far this year. He's got to be the elite player in the league up to this point.
Well, and you said, Danny, that you know, there were so many comparisons with Magic Johnson that he's even getting into that rarefied era in terms of leadership on the floor. It's still to come, I guess. But
right. Well, and I think that it will come. We got Nick Anderson shooting free throws. He missed the first one. You know, he had the 4 missed against Houston in the finals last year. And he needs to get some confidence. That free throw right there will help him have that confidence and have a few games to put that Houston free throw fiasco behind him.
Jordan has it. Takes the three. Kukoc grabs the rebound, puts it up. No. Buechler, no. Loose ball. Hardaway and Kerr battle for it. Jordan underneath. Kukoc. Got two.
Good patience by the Bulls. They need to foul now. Orlando should try to get the ball in their best free throw shooter's hand right now. They better foul. They're down by 5.
Shaw underneath Anderson. And Kukoc fouls Nick Anderson.
Why were they waiting so long? There's 33 seconds on the clock. They let 11 seconds go off the clock. They had many opportunities to foul. They did get Nick Anderson to the line, which is what they wanted, but it might be too late. If he makes one, they're still 2 possessions behind with only 22 seconds to go.
6 of 8 at the line as a team tonight.
Big shots by Nick. You know, getting back to Penny, find it ironic that they compare him to Magic Johnson, and we see tonight that he probably will be the next Magic Johnson in this league, and he plays for the Orlando Magic. It was meant to be, Vern.
I think you're right, Danny.
Big shots by Nick Anderson. He needs a couple games like that, and he'll never remember the Houston free throw misses again.
7-point lead, 22.2 seconds remaining. We were tied at 83 all just a few moments ago. And then Dennis Scott hit a basket and a free throw, and Penny Hardaway with a 3-point basket. And the Orlando Magic a 9-2 run in the last 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
It's not looking good for Chicago right now. Big free throws down the stretch also by Nick Anderson.
Very important, I would think, for Orlando with Shaquille O'Neal out for at least another 6 weeks. Get off to the kind of start they have.
This is a big win for them just for that regard. They haven't played a great schedule to this point, and this is a big win for them and boosts their confidence. And it shows us all that Penny Hardaway has taken that next step of being a leader of this team. He demanded the ball. He got the ball. He finished. He got to the line. He made the threes. He got the twos. He created shots for his teammates. He did everything he was asking tonight. Plus, he defended Scottie Pippen and held Scottie Pippen to 7 for 20 shooting on the night.
Up next on TNT, it's Dramatic Moments in Black Sports History, a 1-hour special featuring profiles of home run king Hank Aaron, boxer Muhammad Ali, and the legendary Jackie Robinson. Dramatic Moments in Black Sports History, a special presentation coming up next. Anderson gets another free throw.
There's a look at Penny Hardaway. I know that he's saying, Shaq, I need you to come back. I'm going to get tired before this year's over, having to do this every night. And that's where you really appreciate a player like Michael Jordan, how long he's been able to do that.
Here's Pippen, Buechler, pump fake, basket good.
3 for Buechler.
I'm afraid too little, too late. Buechler stays hot from the 3-point line.
a backcourt foul called on Chicago.
The foul number 33, Scottie Pippen.
Foul is on Scottie Pippen. We have 8.7 seconds remaining.
Well, this is good for Nick. Get all the free throws down the stretch. Get that confidence back. And this Orlando team has played with a lot of confidence tonight, and they felt like they belonged with the Chicago Bulls.
And Cam Newton shooting 2.
Michael Jordan with 23 points tonight. He's leading the NBA with 32. Anderson misfires on one.
Michael has really tonight had to do a lot. He had to really exert himself from the opening tip. He was really hounding Penny Hardaway, trying to play with good aggressive defense on him. He's relied to carry this team offensively tonight, and he's going to be one tired guy after this game.
Missed both of them.
Timeout, Chicago.
Michael Jordan with only 5 points in the second half. And you had wondered if the toll might be taken after the way he had to play in the first half. Time has been called. Orlando up by 5 with 7.6 seconds remaining. We mentioned that Chicago gets to go back home and take on Cleveland tomorrow night. They're getting ready to make a West Coast swing. And they'll be at home against New Jersey. Then they go out to Dallas, San Antonio, and Utah. That San Antonio game a week from tomorrow night at San Antonio. And Dennis Rodman will be on the injured list, so it will not be a return for Rodman in that game.
Well, that's a tough schedule for Chicago.
Magic has Indiana without its 5 starters here on Thursday night. Then at Miami, Golden State, and next Wednesday at home against Vancouver. Then at Minnesota.
That Miami and Orlando's turning into a great rivalry, isn't it, Vern?
Yeah, with Riley down there and now Alonzo Mourning, that'll captivate a lot of folks around the country over the next few years.
Yeah, that was a great game they played the other night. Penny Hardaway made a great shot to finish that game with 1.2 seconds, and you can tell that rivalry is brewing.
A little bit of a schedule break for Orlando with Shaquille out. They get 10 of their first 15 at home. Well, Phil Jackson is losing an argument here. Kukoc. Stolen by Hardaway. Appropriate.
Yeah, what a game. What a game. That was great defense. You know, Chicago, it was like that was the first time they'd ever run that play. They're running into each other, trying to execute that play coming out of that timeout. And it's kind of seemed that they've been out of sync. In the few games I've watched them play this year, their offense is a little bit out of sync. And tonight, they went through stretches where they were 1 for 11 in the one stretch. And they really struggled from the field getting good quality shots. It's not the Chicago Bulls we're used to watching.
Well, these guys have a streak of their own. These guys being the Magic of Orlando. They were undefeated on TNT last year, 7-0, and now they're 2-0 this year.
Well, and you got to give Orlando a lot of credit for disrupting Chicago's triangle offense tonight.
Hardaway. Oh, he's got Brian Hill in his face.
What? They counted a three-point basket. Good. That ball was 2 feet short of the rim.
What?
Now, I don't think it's going to matter either way, but maybe they need to come over here. This is why we need replay.
Exactly. Now, they're calling this good?
I don't understand this. You know, the ball, he may have been fouled. Now, that ball from that angle, I can see where that official might have saw that, but the official underneath the basket overruled him and said, hey, that ball was going to be a foot short.
Now Jackson's going to have his turn. So there was no goaltending call. .94-88 is the final. Craig Sager is with Penny Hardaway.
It was 86-83, a little over a minute to play when Penny Hardaway got the ball with the shot clock running down and buried the 3 over Michael Jordan. That's what dreams are made of, Penny.
You're right. That's what dreams are definitely made of. Right now in the position that we're in with Shaquille out and winning basketball games, that was great.
How did you approach your matchup with Michael Jordan tonight?
Well, I knew he was going to come hard at me, so I had to go hard at him. I felt that coming into this game, I had to be very aggressive on both ends, and that's the way I faced it today.
We've seen a lot of individual brilliance on your part, 36 points. You've been playing great. But what about the team effort? It's been remarkable in Shaq's absence.
Well, the team is actually doing well. You know, we're playing great defense, and we're not giving over 100 points in any of the games that we won so far this year. So, you know, as a team effort, we're doing great.
Undefeated on TNT the last 2 years, undefeated so far this year at home.
Well, hopefully it stays the same. Stay with us, baby. Stay with us.
Well, he is all rookie his first year, all NBA his second. He's having an MVP season this year. He's getting a lot of help from his buddies. Vern?
Yes, he is, Craig. 94-88, the final. A big night for Penny Hardaway as these guys break an 83-all tie. And there were two big plays with that 83-all tie. Dennis Scott got a basket and a free throw. And then Penny Hardaway with a three-pointer. And take us through this, Dennis Scott. What about this play?
Well, Coach told me when I get the ball to go to the basket hard as I can, and they knew somebody was going to step up and try to double team and try to get the foul. And right there, Luke Longley bumped me with the body, and I'm glad the ball went in.
What is it, young man, about you and national television?
I don't know. It's something that my brother and my mother and had a personal advisor named Mr. Kitchen. They said whenever I get on national TV, here's a chance to show the whole world, you know, what I can do. And a lot of times I get criticized about my weight or I don't play good defense. But I know I'm, you know, as I got to know a little more mature, I know how to play hard every night now. That's why I think good things are happening for me.
Well, take a look at what we're talking about. Look at this, Danny.
Hey, we got 55% as compared to 40% when you're on national TV. That's a big one. And 46 and 41 from the three-point line. You know, 16.6 is your scoring average. Tonight you scored 16 points, but you had to work hard for those 16 points. You made some very difficult shots tonight.
Yeah, I got off to a slow start tonight, and it's something that's been, I think early in the year, it's been happening to me a few games. I've got off to slow starts, but I've been sticking with it. But I got, you know, great teammates. Penny Hardaway's an all-star. He always looks for me on the break or when he gets double-teamed. And Nick, of course, when Shaq's playing, they look for me. So when you got teammates that really believe in you, even though you get off to a slow start and they still look for you, it makes it a lot easier for you.
Danny, congratulations. I know it's very early in the season, a very long season, but a significant win for you.
Thank you very much. Hope we can keep it going.
Dennis Scott and the Orlando Magic go to 6-1. Chicago falls to 5-1. Right now we'll go back to Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.